M3GAN.
Have I done something to upset you, Gemma?
I know you think you're maximizing your objective function.
Oh, really?
M3GAN, the new killer doll horror icon that's been all over the news, critic choices, TikTok, everything. Starting with the bizarre trailer, and finally it's out, and people are loving it. Everyone keeps talking about it. People seem to really enjoy it. So what did I think? Well, quick PSA. I try to go into these reviews as neutral as possible. That is admittedly going to be difficult for me this time, as my experience was extremely negative thanks to outside forces in the theater. A group of around 5, I think, rambunctious 10-year-olds. They weren't teenagers or tweens. They were very young, sitting directly behind me with no adult whatsoever to control them. I had to swap seats halfway through because these kids would not shut up throughout the entire movie, even when told to by other theater goers and myself. So just keep in mind, my review might be a bit tainted because I wasn't able to fully enjoy the film. Parents, don't buy tickets to a slasher for a group of kids, even if it is rated PG-13. None of those kids were teenagers, and they very clearly needed an adult with them. Just wow, I don't care if it's on TikTok. That's just common sense. Why did anyone let that happen? Anyway, that being said, yeah, this wasn't as good as everyone seems to think it is. It's still a very fun, campy time, don't get me wrong, but there's quite a lot of flaws in this performance that drag it down. First off, yeah, it absolutely should have been rated R. Barely any kills are on screen, and there's next to no gore to speak of. Coming off of the producer James Wan's previous film Malignant, which was very rated R, M3GAN clearly needed it. This is absolutely nothing like Malignant, but still, there's no big reveal or mayhem scene, which is really disappointing. The director, Gerard Johnstone, only has one previous title to his name, that being the 2014 horror comedy Housebound, which I thought was pretty decent to my memory. I think it was directed just fine. Everyone puts in a fun performance and funny reactions, even if quite a few of the characters are rather one-note or body count fodder. The heart of the film is the relationship between Gemma, played by Allison Williams, and Cady, played by Violet McGraw. They are both believable and fun to watch as they interact with M3GAN. M3GAN herself is an android doll made for Cady by her Aunt Gemma after a freak snowplow accident kills her parents. Yeah, that's the start of this movie. It's weird, it's campy, come on. Unprepared for parenthood and trying to avoid facing the reality of her sister's death, Gemma creates M3GAN as a learning android and playmate, and things spiral once M3GAN starts to learn a bit too much and starts to act for herself. M3GAN herself has 2 different actresses portraying her. Jenna Davis is her voice, while her freaky movements are done by Amy Donald, and they work fantastic in conjunction with each other. Her voice lines are fun, quick-witted, and the way she moves, especially during the climax, is appropriately disturbing and freaky. There's a lot of relying on the uncanny valley with her, and you can see that with some side characters who think she's a girl at first and then freak out when they realize, oh, that's not a girl, that is a doll or a robot or something. Oh wow. It's still interesting. Having her be an actress with a doll head placed on top, it does add to the camp and the uncanny valley, and it does look a bit ridiculous, quite a lot, but that's kind of the idea. M3GAN isn't a serious film, except for when it tries to tie in emotion. It's a killer doll that questions its existence as it kills people or dances in a hallway as a distraction. It's bizarre, and her abilities are nonsensical half the time. It works to its advantage. I just wished we got to see more of M3GAN going full crazy mode. Once she's out on the prowl, it's a ton of fun, but unfortunately, that's only in the latter third of the movie that this starts to be seen. Until then, M3GAN is very slow paced. It builds the relationship between Gemma and Cady and their aggravation with each other, and a therapist, who, quick note, I felt has to have a deleted death scene or something because she just exits the movie after a confrontation and is never seen again. That's kind of weird, but still. This movie is pretty smart about dealing with childhood trauma and grief and unhealthy coping mechanisms like distractions and such. I just wish the pacing was patched up a bit. The first half of this film is so slow. filled with exposition and foreshadowing, and ugh, I get it. Just get to the crazed robot girl. That's what I'm here for. Sadly, even when M3GAN is going on a rampage, it feels too clean. Again, there's next to no blood, barely any on-screen deaths, and her body count is woefully small. Hopefully we can see an R rating for the sequel and get some actual cool kills going, but this film really only has M3GAN's personality and looks going for it. And she does look great, and her personality's fantastic. The acting's great, and the relationship drama is good too. There's enough time given to it. Personally, I think there's way too much time given to it, but it's still good. Even if other parts like the bully character part is way too cliched, and the boss is a little cliched. There's a lot that I wish this movie didn't have it spends way too much time on instead of focusing on what everyone's here for. Pretty much all of the scenes in the trailer are from the last third of the movie, so it's kind of annoying that you have to sit through half this film just to get to those parts that you want to talk about and laugh at. And there's not as much in the beginning. There still is, but not nearly as much. I just hope in the sequels they dive more into M3GAN's self-existentialism and give her more gore to play with that isn't too tropey. Very clearly there's going to be sequels. This was a major smash and people won't stop talking about it, so there's going to be something, clearly. As it is though, it's still a fun, campy romp that is sure to please plenty of people, but not much else. Hopefully they fix it in the sequels. Ultimately, M3GAN gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around for another one. I thought this was fine. I like these campy things that try to be ridiculous and funny. I really do wonder how much of my experience was tarnished by those people behind me. Because oh my god, I couldn't focus on the movie like a quarter of the time because these kids just wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop talking. They wouldn't stop fake screaming at completely random scenes that don't even have any horror to them. It was ridiculous. I had to swap seats and just, I don't know how the hell a parent could buy tickets to this movie for 10-year-olds or younger. Like I said, they were very, very young. It was weird. It was very, very weird. I haven't had a bad experience like that in the theater in a very long time. So this was very clearly a fluke. I don't expect it to happen anytime soon. But just, wow, that sucked. Maybe I'll go back and watch this movie later when it comes out, and maybe my opinion will change after I can, officially focus on it and actually, laugh and not feel like I'm going slowly insane. But otherwise, I think it's fine. There are some other plot points in this film that I question. Like, there's one scene where Gemma is showing off one of her previous robots, and she's like, oh, this has cameras in it. This has a sensor in it so it can smell you, and this is where all the thoughts go and everything. But then she operates it remotely with gloves, and I'm like, wait, if you have to operate the robot yourself, it doesn't operate on its own. Why did you give it cameras? Why can it see? Why can it smell? Why would you add that in there? That doesn't need to be there. And that's very much the joke. The movie isn't trying to make sense, so you just kind of have to flow with that. I don't know. What did you all think? Did you like it? Did you think it was funny? Did you think it was stupid? Are you excited for the sequels? I heard there's gonna be like 2 or 3, but I think that's just a rumor. I don't think anything is confirmed yet. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss a video, and that's it. Have a great day, and if you're not, have a better one. See ya.
I'm just a ghost in your stereo, the fading memory of a shipwreck in the undertow. You're just a lost song.